KDM English. Woo woo!
Hello,
Welcome
new person.
To our...
Hello, I'm the new person.
Excuse me, but I'm the host, so please, put down the mic. This is Brandy's pre-show, not Josiah's. So, welcome to KDM English pre-show. I am your host, Brandy Boyd. I may have been told that I was going to be kicked out last week, but I'm back. They loved me so much. Or there just weren't any other options, but I'll take that. I did a great job. So, today I have special guests. We have Yannick with us. Woo whoop. We have Andre. And we have my husband, Josiah. Woo woo. So today we are going to play a little bit minute to win it games. So it's a popular TV show in case you haven't heard of it. So we are going to play 2 minute to win it games. And if you're at home and you want to join us, you don't really need anything. You just need some kind of cookie, some M&Ms, a straw, a cup, and a plate. So feel free to join us or join us later as we do this today. So first challenge.
We recommend Oreo, by the way. Oreo's very nice.
Yes. I know Andre loves Oreos. They are not from America. They don't taste quite the same, but
Yeah,
really.
look how, let's just talk about this for a moment. You can't see this, but there is very little cream.
And
You need double stuff.
they're much sweeter here, which is kind of surprising. But hey, we'll use Oreos tonight. So if you are with us, chat with us. Let us know who you think's going to win, how you think this is going to go. We want to hear from you, get your involvement in this. All right, so the first challenge, we are going to use the Oreo. So the challenge is you are going to put the Oreo on your forehead. Your hands are going to be behind your back, and you must get the Oreo from your forehead into your mouth, only using your face muscles. So, Oreo time. Okay, so whoever can do it first, or you all may fail and we may just pick a winner in a minute of who does the best on this. So, are you ready? Y'all understand the rules. You know what's going on. All right, ready, set, go. All right, who's gonna win? We have, you lose your Oreo. There you go. Yash, you don't have glasses on, be careful. Josiah is getting down to his nose. Oh, how we doing? Oh, Andre's getting close. These facial expressions. I wish we had a camera up above because this is great. If you can't, Andre won. I don't think that has anything to do with it. I hope he didn't cheat. Good job. You can eat your Oreo if you want. 5-second rule in case it landed on the ground. I think it's okay. So, how's the Oreos? Was it worth the challenge? They're so. You've had American Oreos, so you see the difference. Yash?
I like it. You have some more?
I do. I'll give you a package to take home. Yes.
So can you really quickly just describe the technique you use to get down? Because I think that's really important for those.
We want to help the people that are watching.
For those
here.
watching at home, I think it's really important that you understand the proper technique because you dropped it, then you picked it up, and then you succeeded. So
The key is your eyebrows because you can use them to sweep that Oreo down your face, and then it's getting nasty when it's over your eye because you have to watch out for crumbles, right? From the Oreo. But if you're gonna survive that, then it's gonna be closer to your mouth, and it kind of helps that my mouth is big. I don't know. It kind of helps. It's debatable.
That was good. I wish we had like a replay button so we could.
Your mouth is.
So we could replay his view. So you'll just have to rewind later and check that out. Yeah, exactly. So I know I didn't think about that because that was great watching your facial expressions. So if you're trying this at home, let us know how it went. All right, y'all ready for challenge number 2? All right, we have M&Ms, like actual M&Ms. So I know Poland has their own version of M&Ms, but these are like legit American M&Ms. So Woohoo for expat community. All right, so you have a plate of M&Ms. Let's show our watchers because they can't really see. Beautiful, way to go. Yes, yes. Then we have a cup with a straw. So the challenge is you are going to use the straw to suck the M&M. Obviously, the M&M is not going to make it up the straw, but it's going to hold it up, and you must then move it from the plate into the cup. You can only use one hand with the straw, and whoever gets the most M&Ms in the cup wins, and you may just get to steal everyone else's M&Ms to take home with you to eat for the rest of the night. So, any questions, contestants? How do you feel about this?
I'm happy I'm not colorblind because my strategy will be pick up one color. That would be harder, but I can make it.
We may have to try that the next round. Andre, how are you feeling?
I'm very excited for blue M&Ms because those are my favorite.
All right, Josiah, we have a color strategy going on here.
We'll see what happens.
His goal is just to get it in there. He's not so
I have
concerned
no
about
strategy
colors.
except it needs to go in there.
Yes, yes.
So we can't like pick up all of them.
No, one by one. So you have to suck up one, transfer it from the plate into the cup, and then go and pick up another one. But you can only use one hand.
Hey, no practicing.
You can only use one hand on the straw. Instructions clear? Viewers, you understand our challenge. Let us know in the chat who you're rooting for. Yannick, Andre, or Josiah. Who is it gonna be? All right, let's get the timer ready. You have 1 minute. Hopefully you don't use all of them. Don't stress, don't stress. You get M&Ms out of this. Also Oreos. Ready, set, go. Oh, only one hand. No, only one hand. Hey, Andre. That was smart, but not working. How are they doing? No. You have to put the cup back up. We may go empty out a couple M&Ms out of his. Andre's doing quite well. He's got a system going. Y'all better pick it up. Please don't pass out from sucking in. We are not responsible for any accidents, injuries, or passing out. How are we doing? Andre's going for the blue ones, and Yannick is going for the green ones. Josiah is just going for whatever's closest. You have 15 seconds left. Who's it gonna be? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and stop. Woo! All right.
I almost did 2 colors. Come on.
You did pretty good. All right. Now, count your M&Ms in your cup. Honesty, this is church. Remember, we need to be honest about how many we get. This is so funny that y'all have colors. This is great. Who's it gonna be? Who's our winner? They're still counting.
37.
37 for Yash. They're still counting. You're a fast counter, or you didn't have as many. I'm not sure which.
Exactly.
I only had 28.
28, all right. 42. I do have to say that Andre, kind of used another hand at the beginning, but
he
I...
also knocked out his cup 2 times or 3, something
Yeah,
like
but that was
Yeah,
that was
he
one
had
hand
it.
still.
That was a pretty smart strategy. I did not clarify that, so...
I'm okay with it.
Okay. So Andre won.
I demand a recount.
You're over there eating them. No wonder you didn't get very many. All right. So, Andre, you can decide if you want to let Josiah keep eating his M&Ms or steal them. And Tosha, I'm sure, would be happy to have the M&Ms at home tonight.
I'll share.
Aww.
I'm gonna take the blue ones for my Tosha.
Very good. Very good. Yash, you get to enjoy some of your M&Ms.
Oh, yeah. I'm happy I almost did 2 colors whole, so...
It's very, very vibrant. It's very nice. All right. How are you feeling over there?
I would love a glass of milk to go with my M&Ms right now.
We can get you a glass of milk. That's kind of weird.
Have you never had milk?
Yeah, I did, but with M&Ms,
With
it's like a
M&Ms?
traditional
With milk, it's like cereals
American
or
breakfast.
something?
No, it's not American, but
Like
but
instead
no,
of
it's
cereal, you just use
any,
M&Ms and milk.
anything with chocolate. If you add some milk to the conversation, it makes it even better.
Are you gonna put the
I've never been a
M&Ms
milk
in the milk, or you're gonna drink the milk
No, you just drink
separately?
the milk separately. I
The
mean,
question is if the color is going to dissolve in the milk, and for instance, if you have cereal from blue M&Ms, you're going to have milk.
Maybe we'll put it in there, and during KDM English, we'll find out if the milk turns
Experiment.
colors.
this sounds horrible.
Like the entire, I think. I don't know.
No.
I think it would work.
Can someone please back me up here? Any type of chocolate with some milk, it's gonna be good. Like
Yes.
cookies and milk,
Yes. Yes.
brownies,
Why not?
Okay.
chocolate cake,
Bring it.
and M&Ms. M&Ms are basically all they are is a coating with chocolate.
But I've got alternative solution. Maybe not solution. The thesis. What might be better? Any kind of chocolate and good espresso coffee. That beats chocolate and milk.
Yeah, but
Out of the
it's
park.
late, and I'm too old to have espresso at this late. So
Yeah, but let's treat it as a generic rule. And yeah, milk, nah, espresso coffee.
no, I don't know. There's nothing like some good.
Do the like mic drop.
Some good a mic drop. I don't know if that was a mic drop moment. We need to introduce what a mic drop moment is to you. So next week we're going to talk to Andre about what an actual mic drop moment actually means. So how are we doing on time over there?
All right, I think we're getting close. So thank you for joining us for our KDM English pre-show. Thank you, Yannick, Andre, and Josiah for participating. If you participated at home with us, let us know how it went, or try this later and video yourself and tag us on social media to see how you did. Let's see. Maybe you'll have a new strategy to the Oreo game, or maybe you'll find out that M&Ms really do dissolve in milk. So,
You're getting it all over the floor.
huge thanks to Anya West. She is producing our KDM English pre-show. Woo! All right, join us in 90 seconds for KDM English.
Our mics. Hey, there we are. Welcome to KDM English. If you missed our pre-show, then you have no idea why there's a cup of milk up here. So we're actually doing a little bit of an experiment.
And I have no idea where is my espresso because you got the milk since you mentioned that during the pre-show. And where's my coffee?
Well, we didn't turn on
Something
the
didn't work.
espresso machine.
Oh, that's the first. So for those that haven't been here before, secret. Every time when someone gets in, it's expected of that person to turn on the espresso machine because otherwise you sinned really deeply. I mean, it's a hard sin. really.
It's a holiday, so we've got to.
Still, rule is a rule.
This is a chance to take time to think about our actions in our life, to fast from certain things like espresso. And who are you, by the way? Because you're sitting here making all these strong comments and accusations, and this is your first time on KDM English, so welcome.
Yeah,
maybe.
And it's awesome to be here. Probably after that introduction, it's going to be my last time, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. But hey, it's so great to be with you guys. My name is Andrew, and I'm part of the KDM Church, the Kościół dla Miasta. I'm one of the pastors here, and it's so good to be with you guys today. And yeah, that's my first time, so I'm super excited.
No, we're glad to have you. We're glad to have you. So, hey, we're going to start off this evening. We love just opening up with some worship and just a time of worship. So join with us as we worship the Lord. And so just wherever you are, I just want you to have a chance to just posture your heart, prepare your heart, and open up for Him to come wherever you're watching this, or maybe you're watching this a couple of weeks later or whatever it may be, because we believe that God is not confined by walls.
Yeah.
And that's what I actually love. One of the things we're seeing through all of this crazy stuff and having to do church through technology and different things is we're actually seeing, and we're actually really standing on the promise that God is wherever you are.
Yeah.
Because He said that He'll always be with us. So wherever you are, enter in and worship. Join us as we sing and worship Him.
You call me out upon the waters, the great unknown, where feet may fail. And there I find you in the mystery, in oceans deep, my faith will stand. I will call upon your name and keep my eyes above the waves. When oceans rise, my soul will rest in your embrace, for I am yours and you are mine. Ooh. Your grace abound in deepest waters. Your sovereign hand will be my guide. Where fear may fail and fear surrounds me, you never fail, and you won't start now. I will call upon your name and keep my eyes above the waves. When oceans rise, my soul will rest in your embrace, for I am yours and you are mine. You are life, you are love, you bring life to the darkness, you bring hope, you restore every heart that is broken. Great are you, Lord. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise, pour out our praise. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise to you only, Lord.
we thank you of how great you are. We thank you for your goodness, Lord. And Lord, we thank you that you call us into places that are uncomfortable sometimes, but it just opens the door for us to encounter you and to experience you in such a unique and special way. We love you and we praise you in Jesus' name. Amen, amen, amen. Amen. So, you know, it's interesting just with all of the different, you know, just trying to figure this season out, and we're kind of starting to get a little bit back to normal, but you're not there yet. So it's just kind of interesting just to see how this plays out and how the world is shaping. And for Poland, we actually got some really good news this week.
Yeah, borders are going to be open July 1st, I believe.
Oh, I actually heard next week they're going to start for the EU.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
maybe I've got outdated information.
You have
That's even better. I should be even more excited now.
Yeah, you should be even more excited.
Come on, guys. Holidays. We can go for vacation.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Finally.
talking about. So, Anya, you like to travel.
I do like to travel, yes.
What's your favorite place?
Yeah, so where's your favorite place you've been?
Well, I think there's many places I like, but I really loved Gold Coast in Australia,
Ah,
and I love Israel as well. Yeah, I mean, I think Gold Coast was the best because you have the combination of mountains, and if you like hiking, or you can swim, surf, if you like, swimming. So you've got palm trees too, which I love. So, yeah, you have a little bit of everything in there. I
wow.
think that was my favorite.
There you go. That's awesome. So what's your place in Europe, Andre?
In Europe.
Because it looks like that's where we're going to be located in at least this summer.
At least the summer. Well, my go-to place, the usual one, which I love at the same time, is Italy, because Italy is so different. Like, I mean, whenever you can go to Tuscany, you can go to South Italy, and it's going to be different. It's like not just the scenery, not just, the logo of a country, but the culture is going to be slightly different. The
Yeah.
food is going to be different,
Yeah.
right? Because Italy is not just pasta and pizza. Yeah, I love Italy. The places that I still want to go but never been, it's Portugal actually, and that's definitely something that I would like to happen this year.
Yeah, and I actually heard though that Portugal is they're still kind of keeping some things under check a little bit more. But
Yeah.
but we're excited. It means that things are opening back up. We're excited about what that can mean for KDM English coming up, but it's it's still a journey. It's an interesting thing because you find this tension. I think all of us really feel this right now. Is just this tension in life of, do we go? We don't really want to go back because I know in my personal life I've thought, man, I don't really want to go back to certain things, or I don't want to just run back to whatever was my busy life of doing good things, but not necessarily things that I think bring life to me all the time.
Yeah, and I think it's something that we're going to talk on KDM English. Like, you mentioned the busy life, right? It's like in the context of going back, but sometimes we just need to be unplugged, or allow ourselves to be more unplugged. And that's briefly, spoiler alert, something that I'm going to mention today. And I think it's going to be a series, right? Because I saw those banners on Facebook, Unplugged.
Yeah, so we're going to actually be talking about that for a little bit, and I think this is a great time and a great season for us to begin to have this conversation, because we're right at this phase where it's like, oh, we can go whatever we want to call it, back to normal, or we're opened up to do different things. And so I think some of the temptation we're going to have is going to be, oh, let's just go do this stuff.
Yeah.
And then we're going to look up in 3 or 4 or 5, 6 months, and there were things God was doing in our lives during this season where we were locked down or quarantined or whatever, and we're going to be like, I don't even remember any of that. I don't even remember. And so for me, I think that's something that I've actually been thinking about, been praying about, and just processing. And so I'm excited for you to share tonight on what it means to be unplugged, or to have a life that's de-stressed or less stress. I think life carries stress and carries weight. I don't think there's any way we're going to avoid stress, but I think it's something that's really powerful whenever we learn how to how to handle it and de-stress a little bit in our life. So
We all need that. And with what we are experiencing right now, we're kind of forced to, we've been forced to stay at home. Obviously, we were stressed. And we have to learn how to de-stress, right? And I think that on many levels, what is happening is kind of pushes us into this uncomfortable place. And it's funny because I was thinking about the same thing that you mentioned today about going back. And I think that going back to our usual things, the way how we worked, the way how we worship, the way how we gather as church, on all those levels, it's not gonna work, because even if we would start doing that, then we'll probably feel that, something is not right. It's the same thing that we're doing, but maybe that's a good time that we are in, and that might be the good outcomes of what's happening. Is maybe there is a good time to actually change something, because we've been forbidden oftentimes to do the things that we've been used to do. And maybe when we finally can do those things, maybe there is a new season that we should step in. Maybe there are new ways of doing things. For instance, entire business or all the corporate, like the companies, they discovered remote work. I personally, I'm a remote employee for 8 years, and the company that I work for was one of the very few companies that allow that actually targeted people for remote work. And right now, the big, humongous companies with all the offices, they discovered, hey, that's actually that actually works, because they've been forced to do that, and that's actually a good opportunity to find best candidates for the jobs across the world, right? So maybe more people are going to work remotely, and that could be good for someone. That can be not so well, because people are social animals as well, right? But that's opportunity for the change, and that's my point.
yeah, I think there's going to be, I know you don't live where you grew up right now, and your wife is the same. And so probably when you go back, it's like things are familiar, but it's not the same, and it's not something that's, and so I think that's where we are right now in this season, is that where things are beginning to open up, and, we're looking and praying and planning. We've had a meeting this week about what it looks like for KDM Polish, KDM English, and what it looks like for us to meet again in person. But we realize it's going to be different. It's going to look different. And I think a lot of times for us, I think we can stress out about it trying to be what it was.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, this was so great, and this was, and what you usually find is actually it wasn't that great. Whatever. I'm not talking about church or whatever. I'm just talking about just whatever life was. But if I'd have talked to you in February, you'd be like, oh, I'm so tired. I'm exhausted from doing this and that. So for me, I'm excited. I'm excited for you to just share tonight on what it means to be unplugged, or what it even looks like.
Yeah.
And just, I'm excited.
Okay, I'm excited as well. Okay, guys, so for the next couple of minutes, I wanted to share a message about why is it important to get unplugged, and find time to be unplugged, because with what happens in the world, with all the things that are trying to sometimes force into our lives, like social media, there are a lot of things that are happening all around. My phone is buzzing constantly right now because I'm getting messages. I'm getting all the notifications about that someone that hasn't recently posted on Instagram, they finally posted, and my phone thinks that this is very important for me. And sometimes it's amazing. Sometimes
That's usually me, by the way.
yeah, so that's my strategy. I'm doing the same things. Once every 2 months, I'm posting something, and I'm getting a lot of traction on my Instagram. So that could be a strategy, right? But there are a lot of things that are calling for our attention, right? Starting with the phone, starting with what do we allow to kind of speak to our lives, to our thoughts, to our minds, what we are watching, what we are hearing, listening to. And that could be news, that could be the things that we read on the news portals. And we might find ourselves in a place where there's so much things happening, so many things that are talking to our lives, that are consuming our attention, that we might feel under the pressure, that we can't stop, we can't pause, we can't rest, we can't relax, because there are so many things happening. There is work, there are kids, and by the way, I have to brag a bit. We are expecting second kid, and I already have 6-year-old Tosia. And hi Tosia, if you're watching here this, but we are expecting son, so I'm gonna have a full duet, right? And I'm excited for that. But my life is gonna change. That little boy is gonna demand my attention. My wife is gonna expect me to help, and I'm grateful for that, and I'm gonna do that. But that's another thing on a huge pile of the things that gonna, fight for my life and fight for my time. And what's happening, because of magnitude of those things listed, or how high that pile of the things that are fighting for our attention is, we might sometimes feel overwhelmed or overloaded, right? And what's comforting, that you can find that happening to people that God called them heroes. Like the person that I want to mention today that is definitely described as a hero in the Bible is Moses. And he felt that. In the book of Numbers, we can find in the 11th chapter, verses 11 to 15, we can find Moses complaining to God. And if you have your Bibles, then please open those, or you can use Bible.com, which is a great resource, and you can probably read it faster than I can. But we are finding Moses frustrated because of the people, because of the Israelites, because they've been complaining, the entire nation have been complaining that they want meat. And if you know me, you know that usually I'm a vegetarian by association. My wife is a full-on 100% vegetarian. I've got those cravings. So I can totally understand Israelites that they demand the meat, because once every month or two, I'm getting that craving for either good steak or burger.
My wife's become like that too, so
Yeah.
we have to fight for ourselves
Your
now.
life is going to change. That's what changed my life. So you can leave.
I still eat a lot of meat. So anyways.
I was the same, but everything is ahead of you. So I've got this craving, and I have to, not that I have to, but I really want to. So I can totally understand the Israelites, because they really wanted meat. And Moses is getting frustrated with the complaints that he has been hearing from the nation. And we are reading that Moses is complaining to God. And starting in so Numbers chapter 11, verse 11 to 15. And Moses said to the Lord, "Why are you treating me, your servant, so harshly? Have mercy on me. What did I do to deserve the burden of all those people? Did I give birth to them? Did I bring them to this world? What did you tell me to carry them in my arms, like a mother carries a nursing baby?" And we are reading so far, he's complaining, and then it's kind of surprising, or even, you wouldn't expect that from a hero to say that. Moses says, "Just go ahead and kill me. Do me a favor and spare me from the misery." All that those people really wanted is meat, right? If you read the Bible, and if you read the history of Israelites and Moses, you probably know by now that this nation that Moses was taking care of and leading was a bunch of complainers. They've been complaining all the time about everything, and God was really annoyed with them. And we can find a lot of histories in the Bible where God expressed that. So we are finding Moses being pretty much overloaded, because there's this another thing that this nation demands from him, right? And he is so sick of it that he is telling God in a very candid way, "Just do me a favor and kill me." So he definitely, it feels like he was overwhelmed, right? With the duty that he got, with what he was responsible for, because he was responsible for the entire nation. So he definitely was like that, and he felt like that. So my first point is, well, it's you can be a hero and you can still feel overwhelmed. So it's not actually bad that we are feeling overwhelmed from time to time. We just need to be smart enough to break the cycle, because being overloaded is actually a cycle, because it starts with I'm having too much, or there's too many things that are fighting for my attention. And all of a sudden, I'm realizing that I'm not enough to handle all of that. And when it's not enough, when I feel I'm not enough, then the heat kind of rises. And, if you are a scientific mind and you know how the conductors' wires work, if the heats go up, right, the capacity, the amount of the current that can flow in, it's even more reduced, so the heats go even more up, right? And that's the cycle, and you have to break it, because otherwise something is going to blow up, and it's going to lead to frustration. You might yell at someone. It's good when you go and yell, or you're very candid with God, because hey, that's probably the best place you can go to. It's bad if you're a public figure, for instance, and you're gonna yell at someone in front of the cameras, right? That might be the end of your career. So that cycle, it's this self-propelling cycle that basically needs to be broken, and it's our responsibility. And that's why we are talking about the entire concept of becoming unplugged, to kind of making sure that we are strategic, and we also take care about ourselves, to kind of give ourselves time to think, to refresh, to relax, and to also think about what is most important. And I want to talk about 3 things that are important and how to break that cycle. First thing that is very important, and it basically sets the stage, and it's a starting point for everything. It's to choose the best place. What do I mean with that? It's impossible to live life right when you are in the wrong place. Why? Because everything is gonna be wrong. It's impossible. It's like this paradox, right? So what I mean by choosing the right place, the best place for you, is choosing the place where you can focus. Personally, for me, that place is always in front of God's presence. Because what I've learned so far, and again, I'm sounding like a 60-year-old, like someone that has all the wisdom. Maybe I do, because I might be that old. You can't judge me by the color of my hair, right? If I would have hair, then you probably can judge, okay, he's not gray enough to be that old and that smart. Maybe. I don't know.
You just told us though that you're having a kid soon, so maybe you're Abraham or something?
Maybe I'm one of those guys like from the Bible. I don't know. Well, my point is, personally, what I've learned that always works, that always allows me to calm down, to also focus, is when I'm with God, in His presence. That's why worship can be so refreshing. That's why worshiping Him and focusing on Him can kind of adjust our thoughts and calm down that noise. Because what I'm finding my phone does to me, all the news I'm reading, all the people that I love, but if it's getting too much, that makes the noise that you can't really understand, and the noise is something that can tire. It's tiring, right? If you've been ever on a concert or on an entire festival, after a certain time you're going to feel tired by just the noise, despite that this is a music that you might love, but too much noise is actually something that's going to hurt. So what allows me to focus and reduce the volume of that noise is just stopping, closing my door to my office, and just meeting with God. And I found it the best place, because sometimes we might be looking for the same result or outcome by turning on Netflix and just watching the show. Yeah, it can help, but it's more like numbing out the thoughts that are in our heads, the emotions, right? Because we are postponing. After the show, they are back. What is beautiful about the God it's this concept of peace, something that is not just a feeling, but something that basically has an effect on your body, soul, and spirit. And you're experiencing that hard to explain peace that you just live in God's presence and everything is adjusted. The thoughts are, more clearer. It's easier to think. The soul feels right because you just met with your Creator. And I love it. That's my place. So start with finding the best place for you to kind of reduce the noise that is trying to enter your life. Because that's going to help you to get to the second point. Is choosing the best perspective or looking at things from a broader, different perspective. And step number one is really crucial because if you're going to be in the noise and in that wrong place, you can't really live the life right? So you can't change your perspective. We need to stop to readjust our perspective, to readjust what's really, how the things are. Because sometimes we might be so in it, right? We might be so consumed by everything that happens, that our perspective becomes really a tunnel vision. And if we stop, well, that's where you actually can think and focus on what things really are and decide what's important, what's not important, and what we should do with the things. And I love it that, speaking about perspective, what I'm finding funny with this history of Moses, going back to the Bible, is if you think about it, both entire nation and Moses did the same thing. God was displeased, mildly put, with Israelites because they've been complaining. But my question is what Moses is doing. He's doing the same thing. The difference is, who are you complaining to? Nation has been complaining to Moses and to themselves. And if you ever complained, and I've heard that my nation is really a complainer nation. Maybe you've experienced that so far. But
I will neither confirm nor deny.
yeah, let's not comment on that. But both Moses and entire nation did the same thing.
Yeah.
But Moses found his best place to actually go to, the person to go to and complain to. And if we would have a good relationship, if I would come to you and tell you about that it hurts me when you're doing something or I found it unfair, and we would have that good relationship, that would be a different conversation than if I would go to Anya and complain about the same thing to her. Because if you have a relationship, you can be really candid with one another.
Yeah.
There is this capacity to handle all of that. And I think that's the difference. This is what Moses had with God. They had very candid, honest relationship. And that's why God wasn't displeased with Moses. He actually helped him. And that's the biggest difference. And that's something that got me really inspired after this story, because complaining by itself, well, it's a bad thing. But if you have this relationship with your Creator, you can be really honest, because God is good and He knows us and He wants us to be really candid and honest with Him, because that's a foundation of every relationship. If there is no honesty, there is no relationship, right? So Moses found his place, and that was God. God helped him to see the things as they are from a different perspective. So after that fragment, we are reading that God asks Moses to appoint or find 72 other men that received the same spirit as Moses had. And those were the ones that Moses shared responsibility with. What is amazing about that, they got the same spirit. So they've been able to serve the nation just as Moses did. So first of all, Moses is not the one weak link that has to handle all the nation. He has people that are going to support them. And the third thing that is really important, so when you found your best place when you got that fresh perspective, you can really focus on what's important and defining that. And it's only possible if you stop. Because, I don't know, for me personally, the priority list, the to-do list never works when there's a lot of things happening. Because I tend to always focus on the things that are urgent and not necessarily important. And that's this constant fight. Urgent versus what is really important. When we stop, we can actually focus on what's really important. And only when we are in the right place, we can gain the right perspective, the wider perspective, and look at things from a different perspective. And only then we can figure out what is really important for our life, right? That's funny because reading that story about Moses, it's not his first time. When we would open the Exodus chapter 11, we're going to find Moses in the same spot. So he's overwhelmed with the people, and that's few books before the Numbers, right? So it's, I don't know how much time, because Bible is not giving us great reference about how many months or years passed, but it's, Moses had that problem, and that was a tendency. He was finding himself in a place of being overwhelmed, but he got the recipe before. Because before, it was that his father-in-law noticed that he's overwhelmed, and he gave him an advice to find people that's gonna support him with, serving the entire nation, right?
Yeah.
And yet, few books, chapters after that advice, Moses in the same spot. So, being overwhelmed and feeling overwhelmed, it's not necessarily bad. Not doing anything with that is probably bad because it has effect on our life. But we need to realize that it's going to be a tendency. It's not like I'm going to break the cycle and everything's going to be fantastic. No, we need to stay in this good place that allows us to have a better perspective or broader perspective and really pay attention to what's important in our life, right? So to summarize that, we all need wise people, smart people around us that sometimes going to drop the truth bomb on us, that you have too much, you need to stop. And I'm that kind of a guy that needs to hear that oftentimes, because that's my tendency to do too much and take too much on myself. So I need that truth bump, and I'm really grateful for people, for my family, my friends around me, because they are first to tell me that. But we also need to remember where or with who we are in this good place for us or best place for us. Because it's not necessarily the place, the room, a location. It's with who we are. And for me, as I mentioned before, that's God. That's wherever God is. And in that place, when it's God, you can be assured that you can be really honest, candid, because this is what it's inspiring from that story about Moses. He complained to God, but God didn't read that as an insult, as a sin. That was, okay, my son, my servant is really candid with me. And it takes a relationship to be able to handle that. And that's amazing that even in Old Testament we can find people that have that real, deep, and honest relationship with God. Because only with Him you can really decide on what is important and what you need to dial down in your life in terms of volume and the time that you're going to spend on things. So those are my things to open up the series of how to get unplugged. Hopefully that was helpful for us, for you. That was helpful for me. I was preaching to myself today. Again, so thank you.
Yeah, that was really good, and I really love the picture of what you're talking about with just capacity you know, and just thinking about that, you know, God has unlimited capacity. And so why do we go to other places? Why do we try to find the answers in places that have limited capacity when we're overwhelmed?
Yeah.
And that's such a really pretty picture. So in your life, what have been, maybe not specific times, but what has been some situations where you've really felt compelled to take a step back, where you felt maybe overwhelmed, and like, what does that look like for you?
Like every day.
Every day?
Sometimes. No, sometimes. That was the most extreme when I changed my role within the company I work for. I used to be developer. Then I started to be responsible for the team, not exactly coding and programming, because I used to be a software developer. But I've got this tendency, and still have, kind of jump in, fix stuff, help others, and that's not my role anymore. And because I've been doing that, I basically did 2 shifts, and that was bad for my family, for my health, and everything else. And, you know, then when you are overworked, it's easy to get overwhelmed, because then your family wants something from you, your ministry, if you're a part of a church, wants something, and then everything starts to annoy even more and more, and that calls that pressure, that heat. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's really good. For me, that's whenever I feel that I'm too plugged in, like you were saying, with too many, and none of them are bad. And that's the thing that I think is difficult sometimes in life is like your job's not bad, your, relationships, church, family, all of that's actually great.
Yeah.
But whenever it starts hitting too much, then it kind of overwhelms. And that's actually for me, is whenever my response is really negative, or my response is based around just kind of this picture of, what do you want from me now? Like, do you not know what's going on in my life? It's like you wish, you assume, you assume that everyone else is like, you haven't seen my schedule and the amount of time I've worked, and so whenever that becomes my response towards others or towards people just asking basic requests, then I know that, okay, God, I have too much. I'm too plugged in. And I need to unplug some things because I'm not responding how you've designed me to respond. And so I think that's a challenge, and it really is. I think it's actually a skill for us to learn and to just develop is how to take a step back for a moment.
Yeah, and just limit the amount of things that, are consuming us, right? And fighting for our attention. Success story. Like after this series, because we did this series in Polish, KDM, the Sunday morning version of KDM, and I also opened that series, and for a second part of that series, we only got like half of the attendance, because people went unplugged with social media and internet. I'm just kidding. I'm just trolling.
So people are like, "Oh, I'm gonna unplug."
Okay,
from
I'm just
this.
gonna.
That's not a good place.
KDM English is using Facebook, and then everybody signs out of Facebook, cancels their account, and next week. No, don't do that. That's actually important. That's my hint. That's important. Here with us, that's church. Church is important.
Yeah, well, and what's interesting is we were talking about God's will, and one of the things that we found that were so key was actually just having that advice and having people around you that can provide that. And so it's actually interesting is in so many different areas of our life, whenever we have community, whenever we have, just this basic interaction with God where we're completely honest with Him.
Yeah.
He helps us with direction, but then He also is like, hey, you need to settle down for a moment. You're kind of trying too hard.
Yeah.
And so isn't it just fascinating that that's kind of the same sources, if you will, helps us both in like pushing us forward when we need some push, and then also, hey, why don't you just drink some red milk? This is not working very well, by the way. So
it's getting nasty.
Yeah.
Nasty.
Yeah. So anyways, you have to watch the pre-show if you want to know what the milk was all about, if you missed that. So it was interesting. Andre is a
I won.
Ridiculous Games champion. we'll leave it at that. And so, congratulations, you're really good at ridiculous games.
I don't know whether it's good or bad.
I don't know either, but you know.
I take it as a compliment, so it's good.
Okay, great. So, hey, a couple of things just so everyone knows and just what's happening and coming up in the next couple of weeks. So, we are still kind of waiting on the government to do a couple of things before we're back, starting again in person, whatever you want to call that. So we're looking at trying to create some fun environments this summer. You know, summer's starting soon. Yep. So today felt a little bit like summer, and then it started raining, and it reminded me it's not summer.
It's not summer.
So whenever we'll keep you up to date is what I'm trying to say. Is we're just trying to figure this out, and it really is. I've been in a couple of different strategic meetings, both here at KDM and some other different groups, and we were just kind of sat there for a moment. It was just kind of like, we could spend a lot of time talking about what August is going to look like, but that could really be a waste of all of our time. Why don't we go get some coffee? Yeah. Because so we're trying to walk in wisdom, but then also open up opportunities. So please be looking out as we try to find out some more information. For the rest of this month, though, we will be having Tuesday Thoughts. So just some quick nuggets, some quick thoughts, and what I'm actually excited about. We're going to talk about some of the people that are briefly mentioned in the Bible that you don't really know a whole lot about them, but they play significant parts.
Oh wow!
About their story.
Spoil a bit.
So
who's going to be the first person?
Well, we talked about last week about a guy named Ampliatus.
No idea who that was. Probably it's because of the translation.
No, it's a Greek. No, it's a Greek word. So it's actually Romans 16. You can look him up. Ampliatus. So Paul picks him out, says hello.
Oh, okay.
It's a pretty incredible, pretty cool story. So join us for Tuesday Thoughts. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to be doing that continuing at least through the rest of this month, and then we'll kind of see what the summer will hold. And we just want to encourage you, if KDM English is your home, or maybe you're watching and you're from our KDM, I don't know, normal Polish, I don't know what we call it. Sunday KDM. So, hey, KDM's every day.
It's the least offensive.
It's the least offensive. I don't know. No one knows what to call anything anymore. So,
everything's new.
Yeah. So if this is your home, we just encourage you to give. So you can go to our website at kdmhome.com. There's a button that kind of gives you the information to give right there. So obviously not give by cash, but you can give by both card and through PayPal, and then also through a bank transfer. And so we just really believe, that our God is generous, and so having the opportunity to be generous back, and the church is a great place because it's a place of a spiritual community where you really see God doing something and moving. And so because of that, that's where a lot of times people find that's where you should give. Yeah. And so that's what we just really would encourage you to do if this is your home. If this is not your home, if you're visiting or joining us for the first time maybe, then you can still go to kdmhome.com, but it will. I encourage you to fill out the guest form if this is your first time here with us. So, thanks for joining us. Yeah, really glad. So I know with your work schedule, Thursday nights doesn't always work, so I'm glad it worked out.
Yeah. So. Usually they don't. Yeah, we made it happen, and it was great to be with you guys. So, hi.
Hi. Hi to everyone. So thank you, Anya, for tonight and for the musical stylings. So, and also running the pre-show. Man, we had some people doing a little bit of everything. It's always interesting, always fun. So, we're really excited about, or for me at least, I'm just excited about this next season. I believe there's going to be so much creativity, so much opportunity. So this is such an incredible and perfect time to talk about getting unplugged, because I feel like after 3 months of quarantine and things starting to open back up, I feel like I'm just now beginning to think outside the box, to think, to dream a little bit again. And so I just want to encourage all of you guys as we jump through this Unplugged series, begin to think, begin to dream. This is a great time, a great season for that to happen. And don't run back into the old life. Let's run into the new life God has for us. It may have a lot of similarities, but there could be also a lot of differences.
Yeah. Let's get ready for them. That's an opportunity.
Yeah, it's an incredible opportunity. So thank you guys for joining us. We really appreciate it. We look forward to seeing you at Tuesday, 7:04 p.m. or 19:04, depending on what version of time you like to tell. So that's always fun to have that debate with people. So we'll see you then. Until then, be watching our social media. Go back and watch our pre-show. And if you've missed some of our previous sermons or messages, you can find everything on Facebook Live and then also on YouTube. So you guys have a wonderful evening. Enjoy the rest of your holiday here in Poland. What is today's holiday, by the way?
Corpus Christi.
Corpus
Christi?
What does that mean?
Boże ciało.
What is that? Can you kind of describe?
Nope.
You can't describe. Okay.
That's a Catholic one, and I grew up non-Catholic, so yeah, that's a secret. Not anymore.
Okay, I have 3 Polish people in the room, and they're all looking at me like they have no idea what that means. So, I encourage all of you to go and Google.
Now that there is some sort of parade because they're just going, from one state.
Yeah, I think it has something to do with taking Christ outside of the church. So, which is actually a nice picture. Yeah, we're doing that every week. So we will see you guys Tuesday, 7:04 p.m. and then next Thursday, 7:04 right here. See you then.
Bye.